the engine of the ocean liner HMHS Britannic at some point during the construction of it, therefore at some time between 1911 and 1914 at the Harland and Wolff shipyard in Belfast, Northern Ireland. Native American woman from the Plateau region, possibly Spokane, with a baby in a cradleboard, photo by Martin Spencer. Wenatchee, Washington, 1902. Children with Santa Claus in Vukovar, Croatia during the Croatian War of Independence, 1992. Buzkashi Game in Afghanistan, 1973, by Roland Michaud. John L. Burns, the old hero of Gettysburg, with musket and crutches, 1863. Kim Il-sung stands with his future wife Kim Jong-suk when they were anti-Japanese guerrillas in the 1930s. Dr. Albert H. Scott using a zenith telescope in the Chatham Islands during an American expedition to observe the transit of Venus, in 1874. Start of the French Grand Prix at Tours, July 2, 1923. A U.S. Army Air Force's Curtiss P-40L Warhawk flown by 1st Lieutenant Charles B. Hull of the 99th Fighter Squadron, in North Africa. On Friday, July 2, 1943, Hull became the first African-American USAF pilot to shoot down an enemy plane, a German Focke-Wulf FW-190. A contraddiello of the Tartuca sleeps with his horse, the night before the Palio, Siena, Italy, 1991. Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip wave as a Concorde flies by the Royal Yacht Britannia near Barbados, during their Silver Jubilee Tour, 1977. Soldiers on parade outside Chile's presidential palace, 1980. British execution of a Kemalist Turk during the Turkish War of Independence, Izmit, 1920. Riding a bicycle down the steps of the United States Capitol, 1884. Police confronting strikers outside Republic Steel, Chicago, May 30, 1937. Australian troops stationed near the pyramids in Egypt, 1914. Armenian orphans of the Near East Relief Orphanage in Alexandropol, now Gyumri, Armenia, thanks for rescuing them from the areas where the Armenian genocide took place, 1918. A portrait of Hayrai Khanum, daughter of Ikram Semil Pasha, from the Semil Pashazade family, a noble Kurdish family from Diyarbakir, Turkey, who later had to emigrate to Syria, 1950. A special mask for hiding your emotions when playing poker, 1937. Television Galzas in 1963. Kim Jong-un's fake Brazil passport in 1990s. Children in a country lane in Dinton, Buckinghamshire in 1904. Manzanar Relocation Center, Manzanar, California. Making camouflage nets for the War Department. This is one of several War and Navy Department projects carried on by persons of Japanese ancestry in relocation centers. 1942. Handsome young crow boy dressed up in sheepskin chaps and fringed gloves, circa 1910. Barricades on Rue Saint-Maur during the June uprising against the closure of the National Workshops, Paris, France, June 25, 1848. Portrait of His Imperial Majesty Norton I, Emperor of the United States, 1871. Fishmonger's store in Yokohama, Japan, around 1880. The last photo of RMS Olympic being scrapped, 1937. David Bowie as Ziggy Stardust, London, UK, 1972. A South Vietnamese soldier of the 83 RD Battalion, 33 RDARVN Ranger Group in the final days of the war in Saigon, April 1975. A U.S. Coast Guard Grumman J-4F Widgeon flies over the wreckage of the USS Lafayette at Pier 88, New York Harbor, on August 12, 1943. The largest and fastest passenger ship of the 1930s caught fire and capsized while being converted into a military transport. The Cardiff Giant being exhumed during October 1869. The Giant was one of the most famous archaeological hoaxes in American history, purported petrified man. NASA Lockheed SR-71B Blackbird takes off from the Ames Dryden Flight Research Facility at Edwards Air Force Base, California, 1992. The Italian training ship Americo Vespucci in the New York Harbor, New York City, 2000. First King of Saudi Arabia Ibn Saud, who reigned from 1902 to 1953 next to his 2-year-old son, and the current King of Saudi Arabia King Salman in 1938. The first Tour de France, 1903. Lieutenant Colonel Wallace Hopkins dropped 500-pound bombs from wing racks of his P-51, Ferocious Frankie, 1944. The restoration project on Stonehenge in the 1950s. The trilithon being repaired fell in 1797, and required the use of the most heavy-duty crane in the country at the time to lift it back into place. The crane, rated for 60 tons, reportedly struggled to complete the task. Tanya Mallet as Tilly Masterson in Goldfinger sitting on top of a pile of gold bullion, 1964. Rare photo of Qusay Hussein holding a rifle, 1990s. Proclamation of the Republic of the Philippines. The U.S. ambassador to the Philippines Paul V. McNutt lowers the American flag and raises the Philippine flag in its place, ending almost 50 years of U.S. colonial rule. Manila, Philippines, 1946. Empty gasoline cans, reportedly used by SS troops to burn the bodies of Hitler and Eva Braun after their suicides in the bunker, Berlin, 1945. The scene after suffragette Emily Davidson threw herself in front of the King's horse at the Epsom Derby, 1913. Manuel Moya, left, Reed Cundiff of a U.S. Army long-range reconnaissance patrol of the 173, RD airborne as they sit, in camouflage, in a helicopter in War Zone C during Operation Junction City in the Vietnam War, Tay Ninh Province, South Vietnam, February 1967. The NASA Parisev 1A on Rogers Dry Lakebed at the NASA Flight Research Center, Edwards Air Force Base, California. Mercury astronaut Gus Grissom is at left and NASA test pilot Milton Thompson is at right, October 17, 1962. Sitting on an unexploded 16-inch naval shell, U.S. Marine PFC Raymond L. Hubert shakes a 3-day accumulation of sand from his boondocker, Saipan, July 4, 1944. Portrait of an elderly doctor, Guangzhou, China, around 1870. Christian and Muslims praying together at St. George's Church, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, 1930. In March 1922, after the victory of the sailors' strike, some participants took a group photo in Guangzhou. Fourth from the right in the front row is Su Zhaoxing. His death 2 years later will trigger a 17-month strike by Siemens that will almost ruin Britain's Hong Kong economically. Sikh militant Gurdeep Singh Vakil testing an RPG, circa 1988. Robert Falcon Scott's pole party of his ill-fated expedition, from left to right at the pole, Oates standing, Bowers sitting, Scott standing in front of Union Jack flag on pole, Wilson sitting, Evans standing, January 17, 1912. An actor in the musical Oklahoma mingling with Parisian children at Tuileries Garden, 1950. John F. Kennedy checking over some papers while his son, John F. Kennedy Jr. is under the resolute desk of the Oval Office, 1963. Making the dog tag soldiers wear on a ribbon with the name, Army serial number and name and address of the nearest relative, 1941. U.S. Marines of 2nd Regiment, 2nd Marine Division, come off of the front lines after 20 days of combat, Saipan, July 5, 1944. F-16XL, supersonic cruise and maneuver prototype model flow visualization test in the NASA Basic Aerodynamics Research Tunnel, at the Langley Research Center, October 6, 1992. A newborn baby is weighed at a Bristol clinic. This service was provided free by the newly introduced National Health Service, Bristol, United Kingdom, 1948. Rare photo of Mao and Stalin meeting during the signing of the Sino-Soviet Treaty on February 14, 1950, 3 months after their more famous meeting on Stalin's 71st birthday. Zhou Enlai and Vyacheslav Molotov can be seen to their right. A rocket fired from a Typhoon of No. 181 Squadron, Royal Air Force, on its way towards buildings at Carpiquet Airfield during the Battle for Normandy. The Canadian 3rd Division took Carpiquet to the west of Caen on July 4, 1944 in Operation Windsor. A Vegetable Seller, Japan, 1870. Photo by Kusakabe Kimbei.